Today's project is a bit of an upcycle project. I love finding items in the clearance aisle of different department stores and upcycling them or transforming them into something that would fit my decor, or in this case, Halloween decor. So I found this in the clearance section of Hobby Lobby, and it's a great large frame. So the first thing I'm going to do is add a couple layers of white acrylic paint, and I'm going to make sure that each layer is absolutely dry before I add another layer on there. You don't want to be adding wet paint on top of wet layers. It just will take forever to dry. So I'm drying them in between each layer, and then once I'm done, I actually ended up doing 3 layers of paint. I let that sit a couple hours before I chalked my surface. And you can see a little bit of shadowing underneath, but I'm pretty confident that once I actually chalk that, you won't be able to see any of that shadowing. So once the surface is absolutely dry, I'm going to pull out my surface wax, give it a quick coat of wax, and as I've mentioned in previous videos, this just helps protect your transfer, helps keep that paint from pulling up onto your transfer, and ensures a nice chalking surface. The reason I grabbed this surface is I knew that this would be perfect for the Halloween porch sign transfer. I love this transfer. There's so many Halloween images on there, so many different things that you can do with this. Make sure you check out my previous video with the Halloween countdown where I used a couple different parts of this transfer on that project. But on this one, I'm going to do one full side, and then I will add a little bit at the bottom because my surface here is a bit longer than this one side of the transfer. And I'm just going to alternate with colors. I'm just kind of, choosing what I think looks good. I ended up going with Rust, Shimmer Plum, Wisteria, Black Velvet, and Bumblebee. And I'm going to chalk part of it, and then I decided to pull it up just to make sure that my chalk paste wasn't drying in my transfer. So you can see me pulling that up right there just to see how that's turning out. Oh my gosh, so cute. So you will see when I get done with this project, when I pull up the transfer, unfortunately some of the chalk paste did dry in my transfer, and I should have known better. We are in North Alabama where it is still very, very hot, and despite the fact that this chalk paste is amazing, it is still drying a little bit faster than I'd like, especially with a project this large. Smaller projects, you don't need to worry about that. So probably once I finished with that little haunted house, I should have pulled up that transfer, but I finished all of the rest of this before I pulled it up, and some of that chalk paste did stick. But not a problem. All we're going to do after is I'm just going to wash my transfer and then place it back down and fix that, and you'll see that in just a minute. So again, I'm just alternating the colors and chalking and just having a ghoulish time. So once I had everything chalked and I made sure that I dried my surface, you can see right there that the image didn't quite come out the way I wanted to. So I washed and dried my transfer, and then I'm going to carefully line that back up so that I can re-chalk just that little bird right there and one of the little bats, and I will probably touch up a little bit of that skeleton hand. That was the only spot that didn't quite come up right. And again, sometimes this happens when you're chalking large surfaces like this. This is a pretty large transfer. Normally with the chalk paste, it does not dry quickly at all. But again, it can vary depending on your climate. And I live in a very hot climate right here in August. So I probably should have pulled that up as I was chalking. And then you'll see here, I kind of decided to touch up that little word right there with my bumblebee paste. And then I'm going to pull that up. And as I'm pulling up my transfer, I'm just going to pull it up slowly so that I can check to see if I missed any spots. Sometimes I'm not paying attention and I miss like the edge of the bat. I think right there I missed the little edge of the bat wing. So you just want to pull it up slowly so you make sure you got all of the silk screen. And I was able to make those couple little touch-up spots and it looks great. So now I'm just going to take some black acrylic paint and a paintbrush, and you'll see I'm going to grab a piece of paper towel so that I can kind of dab off my excess paint. And I'm just going to do a dry brush technique on the edges of the frame. I'm not looking for a ton of paint. I just want a little bit to make it look kind of, you know, weathered, Halloween, spooky, you know, whatever you want to call it. And with this technique, less is better. You know, you can't take away paint once you put it on, but you can always add more. So start with a little bit, and if you want to add more, you can go ahead and add more until you get this looking the way you want. And I love how this just adds a little bit more texture and dimension to my Halloween sign. And as always, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you'd like to see more videos, make sure that you like and subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me on Facebook for more videos.